Today, we're diving into a fundamental part of everyone's financial journey, the emergency fund. Welcome to Forever Finance, where we look towards forever freedom. Stick around as we explore what it is, how to build it, and why it's crucial for your financial well-being. Let's start at the beginning. You have all probably heard the term before, and if you haven't and are on your financial journey, you will hear more about it. But let's start with the basics. What exactly is an emergency fund? Well, simply put, it's a lump sum of cash set aside for unexpected expenses or financial emergencies. Think of it as your financial safety net, ready to catch you when life throws you a curveball. Your emergency fund is there to cover those unexpected expenses without derailing your financial goals. It's not meant for planned expenses like vacations or a new TV. Rather, it's reserved for those unforeseen circumstances that can throw a wrench in your finances. Think of your emergency fund as a buffer between you and financial chaos. By setting aside money specifically for emergencies, you're proactively preparing for the unexpected and taking control of your financial future. Now that we understand what an emergency fund is, you are probably wondering, how much should I have in my emergency fund? That's a great question. There is no specific rule that states how much should be put aside, and the exact amount varies depending on your individual circumstances. A common rule of thumb is to aim for 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This cushion can help you weather job loss, medical emergencies, or unexpected car repairs without derailing your financial goals. It can often take some discipline to know that this money is not for a holiday with the family or to update our wardrobe. But how do you calculate your living expenses? Start by adding up your essential costs each month, things like rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Then, consider any additional expenses like insurance premiums or debt payments. Once you have a monthly total, multiply it by the number of months you want to cover, typically 3 to 6 months. Another method of determining this amount is to go through your bank statements. As Australia becomes less reliant on cash, bank statements become more and more of a reliable method of getting a snapshot of our expenses. Both of these methods give you the ballpark figure you should aim to have in your emergency fund. But building up that much money at once can feel daunting, especially if you're just starting out. That's why it is a good idea to start small and gradually increase your fund over time. Begin by setting aside $1,000 as quickly as possible for those minor emergencies like a sudden car repair or medical emergency. Achieving this milestone puts you ahead of approximately 25% of Australians, according to ASIC. Once you have achieved this goal, you can work your way up to $3,000 for more significant unexpected expenses. Finally, continue to save until you reach your ultimate goal of 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Everyone's risk appetite will allow them to have varying levels between these amounts. The important thing is that you find what level is right for you. If you do have an emergency that requires you to utilize your fund, your goal should be to build your fund back up as quickly as possible. This will ensure that you still have your safety net in place in the event you have another unforeseen emergency. Now, let's talk about the psychological benefits of having an emergency fund. Picture this. You wake up to a flat tire as you walk out to your car to go to work. Instead of panicking about how you'll afford the repair, you can breathe a sigh of relief knowing you have your emergency fund to cover it. Knowing that you have funds set aside for emergencies can alleviate stress and anxiety about the unknown. It gives you the confidence to face life's challenges head-on, secure in the knowledge that you're financially prepared for whatever comes your way. In a world that is already full of stress, can you really put a price on that sense of security and peace of mind? And it's not just about the emergencies themselves. Having an emergency fund can also positively impact your overall mental well-being. It allows you to focus on your long-term financial goals without constantly worrying about unexpected setbacks derailing your financial journey. It's important that we don't underestimate the power of its psychological impact. It's not just about money, it's about peace of mind and the freedom to live your life with confidence. But we wouldn't be talking about finances if there wasn't a positive impact to our financial journeys. Here's something that might surprise you. Having an emergency fund can actually save you money in the long run. Many of you are probably wondering how. Let's go back to our car that has a new tire thanks to our emergency fund. Imagine you put your car in for a service, only to be told that your radiator has a leak and needs to be replaced, or it could damage your car. Without an emergency fund, you might resort to putting it on a high-interest credit card, racking up unnecessary debt. Now, you're not just paying for the emergency itself, you're also paying interest on top of it. Over time, those interest charges can add up, leaving you stuck in a cycle of debt that's hard to break free from. You might even have to cut into your savings or investments. But with your fund in place, you can pay it off immediately, avoiding those high interest charges or missing out on financial opportunities. While we are talking about opportunities, having an emergency fund opens up doors to new opportunities. Whether it's pursuing a higher paying job, investing in a promising opportunity, or simply having the freedom to take risks, your financial safety net gives you the confidence to seize the moment. But there are still more ways an emergency fund can save you money. Think about it. When you're financially prepared for emergencies, you're less likely to feel pressured into making impulsive decisions that could cost you more in the long run. Another large savings opportunity from our emergency funds can come based on where you store your fund. Some people who have a mortgage choose to store their emergency funds in an offset account. This offsets a large amount of interest over the life of their loan. Doing this can save them thousands of dollars. That can be put to use on achieving other financial journey goals. Some people choose to store their emergency funds in a high-interest savings account. This is often a great choice for people who don't have a mortgage, as your money will still be making you money while stored here. When an emergency strikes, you often need your emergency fund quickly. A high-interest savings account is great because it allows you access to your money. Some people opt to invest their emergency funds in an ETF or other vehicle. While this does have the potential to earn you more money, it is not often ideal that you store your emergency fund this way. As we spoke about with high-interest savings accounts, when you do need your emergency fund, you need access to it quick. Some ETFs do not always have immediate liquidity, especially if your fund is based overseas or higher values. The other major reason why it is not often a good idea to store your emergency fund this way is because it is at the mercy of the market. If you have $10,000 invested in your emergency fund and the market takes a downwards trend, you may not have enough money to cover emergencies for when you need them. Then you would have to sell your stock at a loss or wait until the market bounces back. If you do pull your emergency fund at a time when you have made money, you will need to pay tax on these gains. While the name makes it sound like it is preparing for the worst, an emergency fund that is quickly obtained and maintained offers you opportunities to progress further along your financial journey. It even allows us to do this when life happens. Always remember, financial success is within your reach, and with the right knowledge and discipline, you can achieve your financial goals. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to Forever Finance to stay updated with more valuable content. Please consider liking this video to help it reach more people. If you have any topics you would like us to cover, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time on Forever Finance.